What's going on, YouTube, fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one, fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. Let's get right into the story. When most people think of staying safe and out the way, a few places come to mind, either being in the house or at work. It's common when you ask a person what they've been up to for them to say nothing much, working and staying put up. Because that's what we all know as living a productive and safe life. Go to work, make a paycheck, spend time with your family, and do it all over again. Most of us go to work to provide because we all understand the old saying, if you don't work, then you don't eat. But on the other hand, you have some people that no matter what they are doing, they are always looking for a come up or opportunity, even at the job. We have all had co-workers that might even come to you like, yo, we could take this or do that and finesse the company. You might laugh it off and say, nah, I'm good, but not pass judgment, because some people just I gotta get it and survive by any means kind of attitude. But what happens when a person's attention shifts on you, on their come up? You could be nice, look out for them, even help them. But with a greedy and money hungry person, that all goes out the window. And if you show too much bread around snakes and hungry people, you might become prey. Unfortunately, even in a safe place like work. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to discuss the case of a young mother set up by a co-worker for her tax return money. Back in February 2018, Kiana Davis was a 27-year-old woman living right outside of Pittsburgh and Wilkinsburg, PA. The beautiful young lady was stated to be outgoing, friendly, kind-hearted, but most importantly, a go-getter. As Kiana was a single mother to 2 daughters. To make ends meet, she grinded hard daily, working 2 jobs, one at Wendy's and the other at a Dollar General. After working all year around about February, it was an exciting time for Kiana and for most people. We all know that's around about tax time, when all the money you had been kicking out to Uncle Sam throughout the year comes back to you. And the young mother had big plans. First and foremost, to go shopping for her daughters, as one of them had a birthday coming up. And at the time, the family was planning a party. The other major thing was to put some money down on the whip, as Kiana had been taking public transportation to get to both of her jobs. She was happy. She finally had an opportunity to change that. On February 22nd, 2018, it was a regular day for Kiana, and back to the grind as usual. This day, her shift was at the Dollar General in Wilkinsburg. She would be working that day with a new hire who only started the previous day, a younger woman, 21-year-old Leah Whitley. Leah was also a mother of 2. As the morning shift started, Kiana's grandmother came to the job and had some good news for the young lady. Her taxes had hit and she was dropping off the money, which was in total $3,000 cash. Excited, she took the money, told her grandmother her plans for that day after work to go shopping for her daughter, and took the cash and locked it up in her purse in the manager's office. But little did she know, the whole time her co-worker Leah had peeped the whole move. Around about 11:30 a.m., Leah texted a young man she had been dealing with, named Dane Taylor, like, yo, guess what? This girl I work with got $7,000 cash on her, unaware of the real amount of money. In response, Dane excitedly stated, it's a go, say less, delete all these messages. After that, he reached out to his homeboy, another young man named Cajun Scott. He told Cajun, who had the car, he needed to pick him up so they can head to the Dollar General. Kiana, unaware of the play, continued her shift. She even stepped outside with Leah for a smoke break, not knowing by this time the 2 young men were parked behind the store. As her shift came to an end, Kiana bought some items at Leah's register and left on foot with her purse and the cash. As she was walking through the neighborhood, a car had stopped not too far in front of her, and it seemed they were having car trouble. Before seconds later, somebody who was by the vehicle approached Kiana. By this time, she had put 2 and 2 together, but it was too late. The man told her to give up her purse as the young mother took off running. He caught up with her as she fell, but she continued to fight for the purse. Seconds later, 2 shots went off. One missing Kiana, but the other hitting her in her hip as the 2 men got in the car and drove off. Witnesses saw the young woman crawl into the street, waving for help, and called local police. They responded to the scene and rushed Kiana to a local hospital, but unfortunately, the mother would pass away from her injuries. Back at the crime scene, police realized there was cameras all around the area, and the young lady's purse was hanging from a tree, indicating a robbery. As the community received the news a young mother was gunned down walking home from work, people were in shock and outraged. But it wouldn't take long for a motive and suspects to come together, as police received video footage from the dollar store. It showed the car parked with 2 young men in it, and minutes after Kiana got off, the same car driving past the young lady as she was walking, then stopping. The robbery, shooting, even the suspects throwing her purse after taking the money out was all caught on camera. The getaway car was located the next day in an area called Penn Hill. That same day, police already knew who was driving it and went to talk to Cajun. Without hesitation, the young man agreed to go to the police station and agreed to talk in what would eventually be a 9-hour police interview. At first, he tried to spin them, claiming that he gave a friend, which was Dane, a ride for money, but he claimed not to know the man's real name. So instead of saying Dane, he called him D-Lo. He said the man upped the gun and robbed him when he pulled up and told him to do everything he said. He stated he told him if he didn't agree with the plans, he would take his life, then double back and take his mother's life. That's when D-Lo directed him to drive to the store before following Kiana, then robbing and shooting the young lady. As hours went on, the story shifted multiple times before bringing Leia's name up, claiming her and D-Lo had a plan and he just got caught up in the mix. But as a search of his phone records showed communication between him and Dane, asking each other that they watch the news, speaking on the fact that Kiana had in fact died from her injuries. One of them even laughed, stating too bad, she was fine too. They then discussed going out on the town with the young lady's money. The last text was Cajun telling Dane he was scared because police had showed up to his house, but Dane never responded. By this time, Cajun admitted to receiving $800. With that information, now police had 3 suspects, Dane, Leia, and Cajun. All 3 were taken into custody, charged with robbery and murder. As the case went viral of a young mother targeted by her co-worker for her tax money. As Kiana's family laid the young lady to rest, they were heartbroken and devastated, but nobody more than her 2 daughters, who were sent to live with family in North Carolina. As the case started making its way to court with text messages, surveillance footage, and Kiana's family filling the courtroom, Dane, who was pointed to as the shooter, and Leia, pointed to as the mastermind, both decided they would take deals and cop out instead of going to trial on second-degree hit, robbery, and conspiracy. Leia received 20 to 50 years in prison, and Dane 30 to 60 years. But Cajun decided to fight and go to trial, still trying to make it seem like he was in fear for his life and that he was forced to participate in a robbery in the first place as the driver. Even though not being the shooter or the mastermind, he was found guilty and received the most time of everybody. Life in prison without no chance of parole. Rest in peace to Kiana. I send my prayers and condolences to her family, especially her daughters, who were 3 and 6 years old when she passed away. She couldn't have been doing nothing more right. Single mother, working 2 jobs, trying to get on her feet, all because a co-worker was on some greedy, jealous type of time. It seemed like in the text messages, Leia was mad Kiana had that kind of money. And it's even more ironic when I checked her social media, Leia's page had a sign on there saying trust no one. All 3 people involved received about $800 to $900 a piece. Kiana didn't even have the $7,000 like they first thought. If we do the math on that, that's like 7 years for each $100 bill they got. And for Cajun, life. Money will always bring envy and hate. But Leia and Kiana didn't know each other from a can of paint. She only was working there for a day. It's sad, a life is only worth 3 stacks to some people, but for others, that's a regular paycheck. I guess it's all on what you see the value of life as. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this situation in the comments. And remember, we gotta succeed, not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Yeah, man, rest in peace to that young lady. I definitely send my prayers and condolences to her family. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. Y'all leave it in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This is another episode of Hood Tales. It's your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam.